Abling and Dan Kilbridge here from Breslin Center. Scene of Michigan State's victory over Illinois tonight, 61-57. Dan, I don't know if you can call any single game in the Big Ten season a must-win, but this is about as close as it gets.
Yeah, I think that term is maybe tossed out way too much throughout the course of the season, but this is it. When you look at the schedule they have remaining, what they need to do to make the NCAA tournament, I think this was absolutely a must-win game, and it wasn't easy. This game went back and forth the entire way, but MSU held on and did what they need to do to earn that NCAA tournament berth coming up here.
Kalin Lucas, absolutely tremendous tonight, and 25 points. Michigan State could not hit a three-pointer, but a lot of them roll in and out, wound up 3 for 15, but Illinois not much better, just made 4 of them, and maybe 5 at the end, I think. But the fact is, Michigan State was able to control the last 8 minutes of the game after 14 lead changes in 12 minutes.
Yeah, they got to slow the game down a little bit. I think Illinois' press really threw them off for a little while there. Once they got adjusted to that, they were able to slow down, work the offense. And like you said, Kalin Lucas was awesome. This is the 5th time out of the last 7 games he's had 20 points or more, so he's just been on fire lately. He really dictated the tempo in the second half on offense. Sometimes guys would just kind of stand around watching him dribble, it seemed like, but that worked, and that was what got it done for MSU today. So a great final minutes there for the Spartans.
Michigan State, as Judd Heathcote used to say, got a lot of basketball from a lot of players. Darrell Summers, rebounding from his worst effort maybe of his career, came out, played with much more aggression, tied his season high with 5 free throws in the first half alone. And then you got Keith Appling, who had a tough first half, and he comes out with 9 points after the intermission. Draymond Green had been sick for a couple days, had not practiced, couldn't keep any food down, had made some trips to the hospital, and he had a couple pancakes this morning, and I don't know what they were, but they must have been good, just enough to get Michigan State over the top.
Yeah, he played 27 minutes, only had 5 points, but he was able to do some things rebounding, staying aggressive. They just kind of need his presence out there, slapping the court on the defensive end in the last few minutes there, so that was good to see. And Delvon Rowe, I thought, was just awesome, all things considered. I mean, he still looked like he's really favoring that right knee. He was able to go for 8 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists, led the team in assists. So another gutsy effort for Rowe. He matched the 8 minutes he played at Ohio State in the first half, so a very good effort from him, I thought.
This is a very big team that Michigan State was facing. And you talk about Mike Tisdale, 7'1", Mike Davis, a legitimate 6'9". They could put Cole out there. A lot of different ways that Illinois can attack you. And they have a mismatch at guard as well. Dimitri McCamey, very physical. But I thought Appling and Lucas did a pretty good job on him.
Yeah, and you saw Keebler on him for a little bit there too, for stretches. Keebler started with the adjusted lineup there, Summers sat. But yeah, absolutely, McCamey still had 15 points, I think, but it wasn't maybe as dictating as it could have been as far as on their offensive end. I thought Michigan State really kind of shut down McCamey for stretches, did a good job on him. And Tisdale's a tough guy because he can come out and shoot the 3, or he can go inside low. I thought they did a pretty good job on him too. Overall, just a much better defensive effort. We've seen that for the last few games here.
Michigan State moving into a tie for 4th place with Illinois, 7-7 in the league, and getting win number 15 for the year. But 7-7, you figure they have to be at least 9-9 to get into the NCAA tournament. And now with 4 games left, they go to Minnesota for the late game Tuesday night. And it's not going to get any easier. They come back to play Purdue here a week from today, and then Iowa, and they finish at Michigan. So figure if Michigan State could win 3 of those 4, they'd be sitting in good shape at 10-8.
Right, and that's where they need to get to, I think. You don't want to have it depend on the Big Ten tournament having to make a run there because so many different things can happen. I think you're right, they need to do that in order to feel confident going into that NCAA tournament selection weekend. Never easy to win at the barn, so they're going to be tested again in a game that could look a lot like the one we saw tonight. But that's a game that the Spartans could definitely win, and the effort here in the past couple games indicates good things in that regard.
I had a chance to sit up with Bill Frieder, former Michigan coach, who was doing the color on the game for Westwood One Radio, talking about how even these 2 teams are. It's very possible that they could meet in a 4-5 matchup in the Big Ten tournament on Friday, but Illinois' got some serious work to do. Its next 2 games at Ohio State and at Purdue. So that's really a heavy load. You figure the underdogs in both of those have to win the last 2 just to get to 9-9.
You're right. These two teams do kind of mirror each other with the way they've had some disappointing seasons. McCamey, maybe not the senior season he wanted to this point. He's starting to turn it on a little bit. But, they've got talent just like Michigan State does, and starting to kind of figure it out here toward the home stretch.
A big day, a very long day here at Breslin Center. Started early this morning with ESPN Game Day. Couldn't have ended on a better note for Tom Izzo Spartans. A 61-57 win over the Fighting Illini. Jack Ebling and Dan Kilbridge here for Full Court Press for Spartan Tailgate and 24/7 Sports.